Welcome back to Two Nigerian Women. My name is Ibukun.
Hello, everyone. My name is Abidemi, and welcome to this week's episode. We're glad to have you in studio with us. It's been a
Yes.
whirlwind of activities for both of us. Lots
Uh,
of things have been going on behind the scenes and in front of the camera, but we'll just keep a lot of things on the wrap for now. But yeah,
mhm.
it's been a wonderful, wonderful week. Lots and lots of stuff happening. I hope you are as busy as we are and have a lot to share. So we're just going to deep dive into today's episode, and we are going to be speaking on. I'll hand over to Ibukun.
I'm going to tell you a story. And the identity of the main character is obviously not going to be spelt as a whole, but I will use the name John for him, only because, oh no, let's go Nigerian. Let's call him Emeka. Why not? Yeah.
Mm.
So Emeka calls my friend to ask if I have a contact. So if you will, knows me through my friend. Ask if I have a contact for an employment lawyer here in the UK. Like what
Mm.
happened? And it so transpired that Emeka was called into the meeting room at his workplace. Emeka is senior management, so this isn't like someone just doing a transactional job, turns up at 9, leaves at 5. So this is senior management, very busy person. Emeka got a
Mm.
promotion last year with pay rise as well. He's been at this company for 5 years. He handles 2 departments within this company. So Emeka was called into this meeting room and then asked to sign a resignation letter with immediate effect. And in signing the resignation letter, sign an NDA where he would not tell anyone about why he is resigning. And once he does that, he would be immediately on garden leave. Garden leave is you can go home, you're still quote unquote working for this company, but you're physically not coming into the office and working. And they would pay him his notice period, which in the UK is normally 3 months. So they'll give him his salary for
Mm.
3 months in one go and place him on garden leave for those 3 months. And technically, during garden leave, you're not supposed to be working for anybody else, but you can obviously go look for a job, but you're not allowed to work for somebody else. And it was immediate. It was sign this. If you do not sign this, you will be put on disciplinary action and we would manage you out of the company based on this. What did Emeka do? You might wonder. He must have done something wrong. So bear in mind, this guy was promoted last year. This was last year, December, and we are end of March as you get this podcast relayed. He was also
Mm.
given a pay rise. So this isn't someone with a record of wrong. What supposedly happened, and of course this is he says, she says, he said he fell out with a more senior manager in one of the 2 departments he works in January this year, so 2 months ago. And this person was in the room as this meeting was being held saying resign today. So things escalated over a period of 2 months.
Okay.
Emeka, in his confusion, because they gave him time to think about it. So literally leave the room, come back in with your decision in the space of an hour. He called his brother, who unfortunately had had something similar happen to him, and asked his brother for advice. His brother, obviously, in the situation that happened to him, must have felt the same tension Emeka was feeling. And his brother had signed his resignation letter with immediate effect, collected the money, left them hasta la vista.
Mm.
So he advised Emeka to do the same. Emeka signed the letter. He now called my friend in a moment of regret, saying, is there something I can do to pretty much take back this letter? Because upon reflection, so he had slept on it, upon
Yeah.
reflection, this is wrong. And my friend was now like, do you know it? But I was like, of course, I have the contacts. This is the call them with immediate and see what can be done. Because number one, it's illegal to impose something on someone like that out of the blue, not giving them the option to have a representative, especially if they're in a union, even though Emeka is not in a union in this situation, but a witness to the conversation to make sure whatever is being transmitted to the individual, Emeka in this case, is fully understood and acceptable, and you're given the appropriate amount of time to process it. And you
Mm.
might say, no, 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 there must be more to the story. Genuinely, I know 4 other individuals this same scenario has happened to. And it seems to be a repeating pattern in the UK specifically. I don't know what's happening in other parts of the world. I can only talk about where I am at. In the UK, where people are intentionally um, firing others, trying to reduce the
Work.
redundancy burden, payout burden by doing it
Mm-hmm.
this way and taking food off their table and saying it's not personal. How is this not personal? It's really
Mm.
worrying. But this is the story. And what we're going to unpack is, if you will, the different aspects of it. Emeka's situation is not fully resolved right now. And please, oh, before comment warrior start saying, is it because he's black and whatnot? I've called the person Emeka. He's not black, he's white.
I was
But
about to
I
ask that anyway.
know, you see, I'm one of them. But
It's
no,
just
Emeka
okay.
is a white man. I'm calling him Emeka to protect his identity.
It's
But this has
Caucasian.
happened to both black and white
Yeah.
people, Asian
Okay.
people of all colors. This is a worrying trend. And I can speak to something slightly similar almost happening to me, but I left before it fully came into effect. And I can talk about that later in the conversation. But you see, first of all, what are your thoughts on what I've just shared?
Well, basically, Emeka was twisted into doing that. But what what do
Mm.
you think the repercussion would have been if he refused to sign it?
Oh, so I know the answer to this. They would have offered him more money. They would have offered
And
him more
then he
money.
refused the money. What is and that's that I think a lot of us out of
Mm,
panic,
mm,
we give in too quickly
mm,
because you're put on the spot. You're not given the opportunity to go home and sleep. If they're going to sleep on it, there's a ticking time bomb going tick tock in your head. So what's the worst case scenario? I am sure there have been, I'm sure out of maybe 10 cases, there's been one that refused to give up and fought it to the end. Because yes, you want me to go. That's all well and good. You have to tell me why. You have to give me a good recommendation resume and give me a lot more that will make me not talk or blacklist your company. Do you
mm,
understand? Because reason why, and if it's you fell out with a manager, is it personal stuff or work related stuff? And also, it doesn't make any sense. Emeka has a very good case, considering the fact that he was promoted and given a rise in December. If he was not an asset, they wouldn't do that. So that actually it is an indictment on their own part, because if he goes to the I don't know what the tribunal, whatever it is, and presents this case, they will see that actually something has
mm,
gone on between January and this time, and they are trying to get rid of you, but get rid of you unjustly. And there are labor
mhm.
laws, whether you're in a union or not. You're in a country where things work. There
Should
is
work.
no reason why to be arm twisted to sign something under duress because somebody wants to get rid of you.
Mm,
And again, if you want to be mad, let us all be mad together. Then we'll get our money's worth. So if you're offering me
Abby.
40,000 upfront, you're going to give me a lot more than that. Seriously, and you're not going to tell me to sign anything that's going to make me not speak, because I'm good. We need to start, like, there are a lot of people that are doing a lot of social justice that seems to be everywhere on social media. We all
Mm,
have a platform to broadcast. Even WhatsApp is a platform to broadcast
mhm,
whatever thing you want. I remember last year during the elections, leading up to the elections, I was always educating people on my WhatsApp. People will message me, I will message back, I'll respond. I was educating people on my Twitter. I was just retweeting a lot of stuff, but I was more active on WhatsApp because I knew it was a crowd that I could control. There were people that were familiar to me, even if it
mm,
was unofficial, but I could speak to them. So I had
mhm,
that. And we all have a platform. So trying to gag somebody in this day and age is the wrongest thing you can do, because we all
But
have
it's
a platform.
happening. It's
We are
rampant
all, we
within
are
the.
all news readers, news maker, and newscasters, whether I like it
No,
or not.
you see, to be honest with you, we are passive consumers of news as well as stories. So even whoever you
Is it
are
passive?
listening to this podcast,
Of course, I can take
no,
you on
wait
board.
now, let me tell you why we're passive. Because by
Okay.
the time it actually is in front of you, you come to realize power past power. You come to realize Emeka panicked. And Emeka, like I said, is senior management. He's not like a boss boy or anything like that. He's intelligent to a good extent. But whatever it was about the
Yeah.
tension in that room, combined with his emotional state at that point in time, because he reached out to his brother to ask, what do you think I should do? Right?
Mm.
And he still went ahead and signed. It's a lot. So the passivity, let me fully qualify that so no one gets offended or leaves with the wrong impression of what I'm saying.
Mm.
When we realize that what we know, like what we know, is not something we necessarily apply. That's what I mean by passive. So you're intentionally advocating, Sissy, in terms of this is what you should think about before you make your
Yeah.
decision and things like that. And people are listening, they're probably nodding, virtually in their head with what you're saying. But when the thing is in front of them, when they really have to put out what they believe, their output, and make a stand or not make a stand, that is when the realness of what they
Pressure,
have been
yeah, but
consuming
still,
comes
I
out.
still feel he had a case. He had a case. He has. I
It
don't know if he
does.
has, because he signed, but he signed under duress, so that can be proven that he signed under duress. Do you understand? I know we think about these scenarios, like you said, in our head, but if he
Mm,
signs his signature a certain type of way and then he signs a certain type of way under duress, you can tell these are the kind of thing that people that study handwriting can tell that this was not signed by someone that was in a relaxed mode. I just feel
mhm.
that he has a case. He was promoted
It
in
does.
December. He was given a pay rise in December, and then from January things just went to a head. Even if you want to tell him, please, you need to start looking for a job for a certain time, not tell him, oh, we give you this, you need to sign, and you need to not talk about it. That's just wrong. We are not in a cult. This is not a cult. You
Abby.
cannot tell an adult, especially someone that has worked. So obviously, for him to work in that company, he has proved himself over time that he has what it takes and is an asset to the company. So if
Mm,
the asset is not assetting anymore, then there's something that needs to be done. But I do believe that he has a case. And I hate hearing anything that has to do with injustice. Gets on my last nerves. I know, like you
mm,
said, it's easier said than done, because when you are faced with that situation, you don't know. But then again, you have to realize if you're faced between a life and death situation, you're not going to think of dying. You're not going to give up and say, "I'll just die." You're going to fight. If somebody
mm.
was being attacked by someone who's carrying a knife, you won't stand and say, "Hey, it's the end." There's always a struggle up until there is no struggle. Either the attacker, either the
Yeah.
attacker wins or the person that's been attacked wins. But
Okay.
there's a situation of life and death. That's for me. So I just feel that, just like we don't take a lot of decisions, we don't try not to make a lot of decisions rashly, and we try
Mm,
not to also buckle under pressure. I know a lot of people cannot deal with that sometimes.
yeah.
I just feel
Mm,
taking time, no matter what, because I know it's sometimes we need to think outside the box. And his
mm,
brother should have, instead of saying to take the money, it looks like big money, should have told him, actually, you need to find out. And they need to state why and why and why. And then if that guy also keeps, because also, oh, whoa, 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 we have
mhm,
phones. And
mhm.
obviously he went for the brother and he came back. Just put your phone on recording.
Right? But that's not admissible if he does want to use it in court. He could use it to
Mm. The
squeeze
tribunal.
them. You could use it to squeeze them, but it's not admissible in court because you do need to let the person know you're recording them. And that conversation should have been recorded, which is what where he still has a case. But Ceci, let me tell you, because like I said, this has happened to four people I know over a period of time. Like personally know. And the I let me describe my situation because I alluded to it earlier on. I used to work for a huge multinational. I want to name the industry. And
Mm.
in that industry, redundancy is like rule of thumb. It's what they do. They would go acquire a smaller company that does what they want by so that they can get hold of the patent and the product, and then they would make a host of people redundant within their own company and also within the company they've bought. That is how they operate in that industry. I had worked with them for about 3 years. My record, you could see from my record, I'm invaluable to the team. I make things happen. I deliver whatever objective that's been set before me above,
Mm.
exceeded
Mm.
above. Yet I was put on
Yeah.
the redundancy list. The way they even told me, they didn't even tell me. All they did was send an email to the whole group and said these teams will be affected, and over the course of 2 weeks, conversations will be had with every member of the team. Literally, they named my team, of which I am one. You understand? So this wasn't like, oh, one net to catch all. I'm the only one in the team, and you are saying my team is affected. So you're talking about me. I immediately approached my line manager, to which he said he's so sorry. He only found out an hour before the email came out that I would possibly be affected. Then this is what he said, because he had been in that company for, at that point, maybe about 10 years. He said this happens every 2 years. It's a cycle. He was saying it so casually that it is a cycle. And what tends to happen, even though they state you're about to be made redundant, you have the option for applying for another role in another team before the redundancy conversation or the process starts for you. And I'm
Yeah.
like, but where am I supposed to go? Because what I did was so specialist, which is why I was a team of one. It was
Mm.
so specialist. There were some transferable skills that I had. And I was asking him, so what would you suggest I do? He said, oh, I don't know what you could do, but give me like 2 days, because he wanted to retain me within the company. So this is, if you will, a good boss. And we would
Mm.
find out so on and so forth. That was how he came back and said, I'm sorry, it looks like you will definitely be made redundant. And as a result of the redundancy, this is what we could potentially offer you. So it wasn't a push situation. Now, for
Mm.
me, because I was in limbo for about a month, Sissy, because it was maybe, maybe not, we will do this, we will do that. Why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? For a whole month. And I was trying to make it work in my naivety. And I put
Yeah.
up my hands. I was being naive. I was trying to make it work. At the end of the whole month, though, back and forth, that is how they said, oh, they made a mistake. They realized how important my team, it is me, that my team is to this function. And as a result, this team is no longer under the threat of redundancy. Literally, I gave myself 1 year to either transfer to a team within the company, a safer team within the company, or leave. But thank God, within 3 months, I was headhunted for another company. I moved on without looking back. In fact, I felt no.
Did they try to get you to stay?
Yes, they
Did they
did.
try to get good?
Yes, they said, oh, we are so sorry to be losing you, but do you think you want a salary increase? This was after threat of redundancy. I'm like, what am I going to do with it when there's no guarantee? This job will happen next month. So the salary
Yeah.
increase, whether or not it happens, is of no consequence to me. You understand? So I
Mm.
moved on. I moved on. But being in that situation, I say all this to say, being in that situation, you come to realize there's certain emotions you've never experienced in your life that you don't even know how to handle.
How
And
to
then
handle? Yeah.
you share those emotions with other people in your life, and they don't even know how to handle it on your behalf. All they can refer
Mm.
to is their own experience, which in Emeka's situation, his brother was like, that's just what's happened to me. Oh, me, I accepted it and I moved on, but it's up to you. That's probably how the brother would have said it. To which Emeka said, well, he's moved on, he's being bold and courageous. I maybe should go down that route as well. Emeka now went and signed. Now he woke up in anger the next morning and is like, what in the world just happened? This is illegal. This shouldn't happen, and so on and so forth. But there's a way they're
Mm.
getting away with it. Number one, they spring it upon the person. All of a sudden, let's go to meeting room. HR is there. Someone in senior management is there, and then they say, due to blah 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 blah, you are now going to resign or just leave with immediate effect. And we will give you, because they'll put the money in front of you as well. And you know, when you see dollar signs or pound signs, you're like, ha, how can I leave this on the table? People will say I am stupid, or am I even stupid? Even me thinking about it myself. This money
Mm.
is money that hasn't been worked for, because they are now saying I can go on garden leave and I will get a job within a certain amount of time. It doesn't always work out that way. It really doesn't. Because some of the four people that I know, there are two that never went back into main employment. There is one that thankfully found work with weeks to spare of the little shishi they gave him left. You need to understand how this impacts people. This
I
is
think I call it
evil.
a form of financial abuse.
It is evil. How can you now say it is nothing personal? It is just business, which is what they then said to Emeka and to some of the others that they did this to. You are taking food off their family table. How can you sleep at night? How dare you say it's not personal?
I think a class action needs to be held. Everyone that has been affected by that can come together, but as a lot of people just want to put a lot of things behind them and don't want to bother. So
Exactly. They're like, oh, I don't want to now be blacklisted in the industry where people will say, ah,
so
this is the troublemaker coming. We can't.
done. I have a new job. I'm okay. I don't want to go back to that place mentally. But then again, we allow people, it's not a sign of weakness, but we allow people that not necessarily that shouldn't get away with this kind of
Wait.
treatment keep getting away with it. It's just like when it comes to, I don't want to use the word abuse because it connotes so many things. But when somebody has been abused, if that person that started that was abused, the first ever victim spoke up, this
Mm,
abuser would have been stopped. And that's why you have, even on the TV, on the radio, you hear that, oh, if we had only acted on the prior information, this wouldn't have happened. We've had cases, even recently, what was I, oh, about those students in Bristol that were stabbed by that asylum seeker guy. Those two
mm,
university boy and a girl, they were just walking back from a night out. And
mm.
apparently, they have been issues with this asylum seeker. And during the day, he had tried to get into somebody's house, and the
Wow.
person, because the window, they had bay windows, so the top of the bay
Okay.
windows were open, main one were not open, and he tried to get in through the top, and she kind of pushed him. If she had called the police, they probably would have taken him in. Do you understand?
Mm,
Because she just
yeah.
attacked a random person. Or is it that other one that attacked his partner and his children? If he had been put under lock and key or even addressed, all happened. So what? Why I seem to be going off a tangent, but I'm just saying that
You're
why
not.
these
You're
things
not.
happen,
It makes sense.
because people they have done it to go away quietly. You're not. You are the victim. You are not the person that agitator. So we need to remember, because a lot of times a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't want to agitate. I don't want to make it feel worse. I don't want to put myself out there. I'll just go away quietly." Almost like you're being
Mm.
shamed for speaking up. And it has to stop. It does.
It
Because
does. It
no,
really has to stop. It's
a lot of
unacceptable and it is abuse, in my opinion.
it is. It is abuse. So yeah, we have a lot of that. But anyway, it is
Look,
sad.
look. It is really sad, but I also maintain, and I think I've had, well, I know I've had this conversation with you on and off, Sissy. We
Mm,
are we are a product, if you will, of our upbringing, where we are pretty much trained and as a result conditioned to always think we should work for somebody else.
mm,
And people have to work for somebody else, or else the world can't function, right?
Yes,
But
some people
I
are
think
doers and some people are, what's the word now?
leaders,
Yeah, doers, leaders. Yeah, yeah, okay.
hey,
Mhm.
followers, leaders, whichever way. But the point is, everyone is blessed with a unique gift. I believe that everyone is blessed with a unique gift. Not everyone can be a business person,
Mhm.
but whatever you are gifted with, you can make room for you in different avenues. And it doesn't have to be the business of buying and selling. It just has to be whatever it is you're gifted with, people are willing to pay you for, you
Mm.
know. And as a result, I just want to encourage anyone out there who is going through this sort of situation as discussed with Emeka, and also financial hardship. Look for what you're gifted with and utilize that in a shape where you can also use it as a multiple stream of income, because we have people who are really suffering right now in this economy,
Mm.
because this is rampant, especially in the early part of the year, because companies are looking to downsize to cope with the economy. And as a
Mm.
result, they're abusing good employees, intelligence, and as well as their ability to live by saying, just take this hush money and quietly leave so that, we can survive as a whole. It's like a mother consuming their young. That
Mm.
it's a strong illustration, but genuinely that's what it is. You're
Mm.
saying yes, you're good, but we cannot afford you. But even without being direct, you're saying just go with this little money, and so that I can survive. But we don't care what happens to you, because
Mm.
this shows you genuinely do not care how this person is going to continue to live. There are
Mm.
people that commit suicide on things like this
Yeah. Oh, that, yeah,
because
because I had a story, someone that worked with a
mm,
family member of mine, and they got that family
mm,
member of mine to take over the guy's role, and
mm,
it
mm.
was fine. I don't know what the issue. I don't know if they were handing over or was handing over, but this guy ended up killing himself.
Oh dear.
And apparently the guy has been having issues with his mental health. So the company was well aware
Mm,
things is almost,
mm.
and the company failed that individual. You shouldn't have let him down, especially when you know what he's going through. And the saddest part was that it was his son that found him in the garage.
Oh,
But when you look at it, these companies, and that's what I'm saying, there are repercussions for these things, and these companies need to know that it is your responsibility, because we're assets, but we're not just intangible assets. We are valuable assets, or else we won't be there. And there has, I know there's no nice way of hiring and firing, but there are better ways
mm,
to handle those kind of things, not making someone feel less human or inconsequential or even worthless. Because you have people that attach their, which is not good in itself, but there are a lot of people that attach their importance, their
to
worth to
their
what they
job.
do.
Yes.
When you
Mm,
take that job away from them, it's like, what do I have to live for? And some people are giving their all to these jobs. They have no
mm-hmm,
social life, they have no family, they have nothing they can come home to. They are working 25/8. If there's anything like that,
mm,
never out of the
mm,
office, always there. And then at a point,
mm-hmm.
you find that they are more or less a liability than an asset, and you get rid of them. And it is something that's, like you said, has been going on. There are a few heroes that have come out to speak, but the people that have spoken up are way small in number in terms of the people that have actually gone away silently and just wanting
Mm.
it to stop and let it go away.
It's because
When
they put NDA on it.
And by the way,
They put
NDA is
NDA.
non-disclosure agreement, which to a certain
Mm.
extent, we're not in the entertainment industry. Why should we have to do that?
Happy. What is it? Because once they start saying
Why are you
sign this
hiding?
non-disclosure, you know you've got them. Let me advise you, if you're in a similar situation now, once they start to say you need to sign a non-disclosure, you have leverage. You have leverage. I'm not saying everyone in this situation is lily white, but even those that are not lily white, once they ask you to sign NDA, you have them. You really do. And you should ask for your time, because you are due time to go and consider your options and then decide what you want to do with them before you make your final decision. Do
Yeah.
not be arm twisted. On that note, let's close this out, Sissy. I pray you all keep safe. God bless you. If you're a Christian, keep praying. Keep praying over the work you do, whether it's for somebody else or you run your own business. And I really hope on the other side of this, for Emeka and everyone else that is going through this, you do find a happy place and a stable place. But that is almost even like a contradiction. There's no such thing as stability in a
Yeah.
world of working for somebody else. But yeah, I think we should start talking about business to see. Let's bring people who have broken out of 9 to 5, or who have 9 to 5 and other things going on as well, to
Yeah.
talk on it. Yeah. But yeah, I'll close out. My name is Ibukun. Thank you for being with us on this podcast. Sissy, closes out, please.
My name is Abidemi, and thank you for being with us as well. We enjoy spending time with you, and we hope to see you on our next episode. Please like, share, subscribe, discuss with us, send us your comments, your questions, your emails, and also tell us how you're feeling about our sessions with Uncle Sue. Hopefully, we'll have him very soon in studio again.
I'm so sorry. We messed up uploading. We uploaded part 2 before part 1. But yeah, go watch both. It's still very good. All right. Take care. Bye, everyone. Bye.